Welcome to episode 11 of PIPE GDAO Podcast. It's your usual suspect, the Sleazy Slime here.
And it's
And
me, Pipe Noodle. I'm genuinely shocked we've made it this far. 11 weeks on the chart. Well, actually, no. Wait, it's technically more.
is it?
The ones that don't count, the not the
Oh,
0.5.
yeah, the 0.5.
Was it
And
30 weeks?
technically, we've been there even longer than 13 weeks
Oh,
because, we were preparing it first.
absolutely. We've been here for a long time. I think
Yeah,
I'm a year in now, I think. Just over a year in
damn. You
working with the
must be
project.
you must be my senior then,
I
in this
well,
sense.
on paper apparently not, and I'm just like, oh, okay,
Well, yeah,
guys.
yeah. At least like at least when I was doing like martial arts, there was this funny thing. If
hmm
you're of the same rank,
hmm
but one guy got to this rank a year earlier than the other guy, and the other guy like just got the rank
hmm
because he's been there longer and he's the same rank. Now he's the senior.
Is he the senior of the rank? I guess that kind of makes sense. It
Yeah,
makes
like
sense, doesn't it? Yeah.
he just got the rank, but because he's been at the dojo more time, now he's the
hmm
senior. So I guess
That's.
that's how it works.
Are you into MMA then? Do you like UFC and stuff like that?
I want to start someday, but that was one of those more traditional things.
Oh, fair enough.
Yeah, and I'm still your senior, so I'm
But
I'm making this.
yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah. But before that, hey listeners, we get it. Sometimes you've got questions and browsing through endless FAQs just isn't cutting it. I mean, we do have Discord and Telegram where you could ask us questions directly. We're very responsive there. But maybe you want to hear human interaction for something important. A lot of people value that, especially those who are, on the elder side. We get in the universities, there are elder professors. So why not make it easy on yourself and give us a call?
Yes, just pick up the phone and dial +44 0161 399 4283.
from 9 a.m. to 8 p.m. UK time, Monday to Friday.
Whether it's a quick question, a bit of help you need, or you just want to chat with a real person, we're here for you.
No robots, no runaround, just friendly folks ready to give you the answers you need and fast. So, next time you're stuck, remember this number +44 0161 399 4283. Available 9 a.m. to 8 p.m. UK time, Monday to Friday. We're ready when you are. Yeah, and our episode is by Robert James Steele again, of course.
Yes,
It's,
classic.
it's another block. How do? Oh wait, first we need to read the thumbnail. It's mirror, mirror on the wall. Who's the fairest DAO of all? Hashtag
Yes.
DeSci.
And it's us, not to be biased or anything,
Yeah,
but
not
it's
on the
us.
thumbnail.
Yeah.
The two characters on the thumbnail aren't us. It's we are the fairest DAO of them all.
We are, yes, no, I'm not talking about, I believe, for audio listeners, these are pictures. I think that's Snow White.
Yeah, I'm sure the
Yeah.
one on the on the right is Snow White. On the left, I don't know.
It's
She
like
looks
the evil
familiar.
queen from Snow White. Oh yeah, wait, hold on. Listen, Disney knowledge is coming in. So on the right, we have a picture of the evil queen from Snow White, and on the left, I believe that's Maleficent, which was Sleeping Beauty. Not Sleeping. Was
Maybe.
it Sleeping Beauty? In the Maleficent films, it was Sleeping Beauty. I'm pretty sure.
I've never watched like the originals, so I'm not sure.
Neither
Or
have
maybe I
I.
have and I just forgot. That's also a possibility.
Well, there was that huge thing now where it's apparently like there's a warning when you start on Disney Plus. I remember I watched Peter Pan not too long ago, and there's a massive warning now before you start the films, being like these films have stereotypes in them that are not up to date with current times.
Ah,
So we do apologize, and you're just a bit like, oh no. I forgot how like on the edge some of these films look like the depiction of the Indians and Peter Pan. You're just a bit like, ooh, not too sure. Not too sure that that would run in these times today.
yeah. Honestly, these days it's not always clear what is considered sensitive and what isn't because of
Mm.
how fast everything is moving. Yeah, but now that we've done with the thumbnail, how do you know the hashtag DeSci projects you're investing in are any good? Well,
Mm.
normally you would need to do your due diligence.
Exactly.
You need to
But
talk about.
I was
But
going to say because it's so saturated now, especially with like projects that have a lot of DAOs and they're all the DeSci a lot of DAOs. It's just the one DAO. A lot of projects now on the Web3 because there's so many of them because it's obviously such a massively expanding business. Sometimes it is a bit difficult to sort of differentiate or even know if what you're doing in is a very good because it's kind of a lot of projects don't want to, I don't want to offend anyone here, but quite a few projects you'll find is just sort of blowing steam up people, being like, oh yeah, do this, buy us, we're going to be really good, and it's just useless.
yeah, it's
Um,
like there are very few like real DAOs. Like I could give one example being the Cosmos,
mm,
layer one, where they give a proposal, and if the
mm,
majority of a token, or I guess in this case coin holders,
mhm.
do not agree, then it is actually rejected.
Exactly.
Like that is a true example of a DAO. Like I remember there was one case like a year ago where that happened. Uh, but most DAOs these days are just Discord channels. So yeah, it's like a DAO in the making, let's say.
Exactly. Most DAOs are Discord channels, exactly, and you can find ours in the link in the description.
Yeah,
And
join our Telegram.
join our Telegram, follow us on Twitter, like and repost, please.
And hey, we will be a DAO as soon as we actually make our TG happen, which will
Hmm.
happen as soon as we raise 10 million pounds. So it is a recent article from just a few days ago, as of the time of the making of this video. Let's see. Many of you will have seen the hashtag DeSci. Well, it's not as popular, but if you are into Web3 and you do it for a long time, you probably have heard it at some point. It's
Yeah.
getting more popular increasingly.
Yeah, DeSci definitely within the space is coming a lot. You're seeing it a lot more commonly across many messaging boards.
Especially because DeSci is not as Web3 as others, because DeSci doesn't actually follow the Bitcoin lead as much. It does, but not as much.
Mm,
So it's sort of those more niche safe havens for when the bear market hits.
absolutely. Yeah.
So, seen the hashtag DeSci and possibly followed these to various DAO projects throughout Web3. Yeah, you
Mm,
probably have seen some to do with the with the longevity. Those are the most popular, probably because they are the most catchy as well. You can, of course, not be surprised that as soon as a new hashtag is produced in Web3, every man, his dog, and their meme coins will follow it in the hope of pumping something for their benefit. I didn't know dogs can follow stuff on Twitter
well, you
or
get a lot
something.
of dog accounts now, especially on Instagram. Do you know, like,
Oh yeah,
you people make accounts of their dogs and their animals, and you just got to think, like, I mean, on one hand, I kind of understand it because there's a dog. You can't really hate a dog. On the other hand, that's just mental. Like, why are you following this account that's pretending to be a dog?
yeah. Shiba Inu coin, Dogecoin. Then there was
Dogecoin.
this uh, chimps. I think that was called like the most popular.
The
Um,
NFT, the bored apes.
well, no, not the NFT. It's the meme. Like the classical dog meme, where one is like strong and the other one is like
Oh yeah,
sad
the
and weak.
Doge things, yeah. Which Elon Musk has now called his new what was it, in America, they've now set up the Doge thing for um America. Oh my god, what was it? It was like to produce efficiency because Elon Musk was the face of the Doge coin. He like bought loads of it, and that was
Oh,
like one of his big sort of out there tokens that he had was this Dogecoin, and now they've gone on and made the Doge a the name is now used for his sector of the American government to help raise efficiency.
damn, I've been slacking off on my American politics, I guess.
Yeah,
Yeah, fun fact: when Elon Musk just bought Twitter, at one point there was a Doge loading screen when you open Twitter. That was
yeah.
kind of fun. It only lasted for like a day or two, but that was very fun.
I was gonna, yeah, he just made so many things. Actually, speaking of Twitter and like sort of memes in general and like meme coins, did you ever stumble across the Hawk Tour girl?
But wait. Are you looking to get the latest updates straight from the source? All the insider details as they happen?
Well, we've got you covered. Follow us on X to stay in the loop with both PGF and the Pipe Company. From announcements to exclusive insights, you'll be the first to know.
And don't miss our next AMA. Get your questions ready, whether you want to ask them in writing or come on air to speak directly with the experts.
It's your chance to ask anything. Hear the answers live and get the clarity you need. Just follow us on X and never miss an AMA announcement.
Stay informed, stay ahead, and get answers right from the source. Go into the link tree in the description, find our X, formerly Twitter page, and we'll see you there. Oh yeah, that's
Have you
also a meme thing.
have you seen what's happened?
Uh, in passing, that it crashed.
Not
But
even
yeah,
not even crashed, bro. It was a classic rug pull, basically. So for those that don't know, there was this huge sort of internet joke, internet meme. This girl, I think her name was Haley Welsh,
something like that. Yeah.
who did a massive. She was caught on camera, not caught on camera. She did this street interview, and she said the phrase "hawk" to her. And that just blew up. It was everywhere. Everyone doing it, and she created a podcast, which the podcast was actually run and sponsored by Jake Paul, which is already a
Huh.
red flag. Um, but then she met up with these sort of Web3, these token people, and they created their own coin. I forgot what it was called, but she was basically the face of this new coin.
It was
And
called Hawk.
it was maybe I'm not, but obviously we've seen it time and time before. Big creators, they'll get this coin, people will invest it, but they themselves will hold on to, let's say, 90% of the coins in circulation. So people invested in it, it pumped it up. She then sold all of her stock. She made millions, and everyone else that invested lost all of their money. And I'm pretty sure that's quite illegal. So currently, they're in a lot of hot water on Twitter, and it was very interesting to see because she doesn't know what's going on. She's not, no disrespect to her, but she wasn't really that bright enough to understand what was going on. But the people that were behind it are just desperately trying to pretend like they didn't just pull the rug out from hundreds of people, and it's very entertaining watch.
And it's just goes to show how do you know that a DeSci or any other project is a good one? Well, apparently, following a person who just made a joke became a celebrity overnight,
Mm.
like from some small town. I think so. And then decided to make a meme project. Apparently, those are not good conditions to invest.
Exactly. I feel like we should know by now that there's a couple of red flags there that you maybe should not invest in. So again, yeah, it all ties into how do you know these DeSci projects you're investing in are any good? So rule one, the internet lies. Famous for it. We were all well. I'm not sure about Sleazy, but when I was in school, we were obviously social media, and that was already massive when I was in primary school or lower education here in the UK, which is from ages like 4 to 11. We were always told, like, listen, people on the internet lies. It's famous for misinformation, people manipulating, people doing all of this. A lot of that happens, especially on social media platforms like Twitter, where there's not a lot of fact checking. So you'll see something like a headline or a thing, and everyone will be like, "Oh yeah, that sounds really good," but it's completely false. It's fabrication.
Yeah, the good thing about it is that since we know that internet lies, we by extension know that newspapers lie, that TV lies. But at least in my my parents' generation, everyone believed whatever was said on TV. So at,
Exactly. Yeah.
at least now we are better in making due diligence,
Mm.
performing due diligence.
I think
And
I
if you
bet.
performed like maybe 30 minutes of due diligence on the Hawk Tour girl coin, probably could have avoided all of this.
You
But
probably
yeah,
could
just
have
saying.
saved your money. Yes. So that's a lot of people are saying the same thing as you are, to be fair. They're coming out and being like, listen, if you invested in this to begin with, you deserve it. Like it was like
Yeah.
this is. But it's also, again, going on the social media thing. Did you ever see the Logan Paul crypto zoo scam where
No, not this one.
I know, where he made this NFT, um, and basically the whole thing was a scam. And he came out, and his apology video wasn't him saying sorry for people losing all their money. It was him telling them that they should have known better because it was the most obvious scam you've ever seen. Which I thought was hilarious because he just had no shit. And he refuses to believe that he doesn't even say it was a scam, like not specifically, so he can't get sued for it. And the BBC and everyone have been trying to reach out for him, and he just won't talk about it at all. But I remember one line, my favorite line was, I forget the guy's name who was doing it with him, but he said, "Yeah, this guy's already been like arrested and charged for various amounts of con schemes. So if you believed anything he said, you're a fool." And everyone was like, "Yeah, but he was literally your partner. What are you talking about?" Um,
And he's like, well, I'm not saying I did any better, right?
exactly. He was just like, "I didn't do anything. You know, it's all these guys. You know, they just were." And it's like, "Oh, sure, mate, sure."
Yeah, and that's also people learned the importance of knowing how to check tokenomics.
Hmm,
Because if everyone knew that she owned 90% of the supply, I bet a lot fewer people would have invested into this.
exactly. It raises a lot of questions.
You can also check our tokenomics in the link tree in the description.
Yes.
It's always in the description to our white paper as well as our pitch deck, where it is all laid out nice and simply for you,
Let me show you
or
how many shares
nice
we got.
and nice and detailed in the white paper. And yeah, coming back to this, uh, every man, his dog, and their meme coins will follow a new hashtag in the hope of pumping something for their benefit. Yeah, meme coins. That's essentially how all this works.
Mm,
Continues. I'm not taking away from those degens who are savvy enough to follow this trend. Yeah, people can make and do make a lot of money into this from this, but of course you need to. It's not just a pump. You if you wanna make if you wanna like play casino style games where obviously it's gonna rock, you just have to pull out before it rocks. Then of course, you can do it, it's your money, but you actually need to know how to do this. You cannot just enter the space and expect to win.
mm.
Uh, get in and out quickly enough to make riches, but by the same token, the providers of these DeSci protocols should not advocate that they are, in fact, trying to solve the world problems. They are really not. Yeah, so we have the meme coins, which is just pump and try to leave as soon as it's a good moment, or before it's a bad moment, rather. But also, when we are not doing this, and when we go into DeSci protocols, which are meant for, well, the science is science. It's not necessarily always for the betterment of the world, but at least it's for the betterment of increasing knowledge base of humanity, I guess. Uh, if they are trying to solve world problems or do research, they should not follow in the same category as and in the same footsteps as the meme coins, because those are two completely separate categories, even though we share the decentralized space. Rob
Exactly. Yeah.
continues.
Just because sort of the foundations are the same doesn't mean the projects are.
Yeah,
Is that what you kind of getting on there? It is different. Like there's meme coins and pump and dump schemes and stuff like that, and then there's actual tokenomics and investments and stuff like blockchains, where you can go on from there.
yeah. And he can see how those DeSci focused DAOs and the underlying projects are pitched, how exciting they can look, and possibly how financially, environmentally, or societally rewarding they appear on the surface. Yeah, for example, one that, I don't know, prevents aging or slows it down. Well, slow down aging doesn't sound catchy enough, so I guess it would be to prevent aging eventually.
The DH. Yes.
Well, I guess that's one way to say it. Never heard of it, but yeah.
Yes.
Uh, yeah, this is very flashy. You can invest in this thinking that maybe other people would invest and buy your coins or something like that. But yeah, making a DAO out of a science project is difficult because a lot of them fail, and well, that's one thing. And the other is, if it does succeed, how are you going to distribute the profits for the DAO holders. That is a thing that is very difficult to organize,
Mm,
which is why a lot of those DAOs actually don't organize it. They say there is no guaranteed rewards for you holding those tokens, and the DAO may decide in the future to reward you for buying those tokens.
mm.
That's how it's always structured. And however, when you actually scratch the surface, what do you really see? But before we continue, are you looking to invest in real world asset innovation IPs? Maybe one coming from a university? I'll have you know, they have an average ROI of 397%, aka X4. And did you know, the likes of Gatorade and Google actually came out from universities?
Then what you're looking for is the PIPE GDAO, a community led protocol that fairly openly and honestly governs overall community ownership of the various protocols it creates. Join the Web3 real world asset revolution powered by PGF Launchpad with cutting edge university laboratory inventions that could change the world with your support, bridging the gap between university IP real world assets and Web3 capital. The PGF Launchpad connects EU university lab innovators directly with retail investors on the blockchain, included but not limited to automated seizure prediction and prevention, and boost EV driving range significantly. This could be up to 70%.
You can join us by going into the link tree in the description, launchpad.thepipegdao.io.
What do we really see? So it's sort of assuming that you're even scratching the surface at all. So let's talk about it like a sort of 20 hours or less of due diligence is the norm for most early stage projects. And this is one of the reasons 90% of projects fail within 4 years. So what you see if you scratch the surface is a fancy wrap or a promise, or linking back to the thumbnail, a fairy story worthy of a Disney production. So Rob's actually saying he's going to explain this more in the next couple paragraphs. So Rob states that almost every day of every week he has discussions with researchers and academics or field experts and specialists or people working in some capacity who are trying to evolve something they believe will solve a huge problem. These people often work in or around research institutes and universities and are at cutting edge of science. They're doing incredible research, most of which, as research is, tends to be very
Nascent.
nascent, naive, early, and risky. We've actually covered a research institution here in Manchester. I say here in Manchester, here in the UK, located in Manchester, called Geek, which was the graphene. What was it again, Sleazy? It's the
Graphene GEIC, I think it was. Graphene
GEIC
Engineering
Innovation
Innovation.
Centre
Yeah.
with the University of Manchester. That was covered, I think, 2 podcasts ago. So if you're sort of interested in what kind of research institutes we're looking at, the ones that we're working with, and stuff that we already have here in the UK as an extension of Europe itself, please go back
Nascent
and look at it.
means adjective, commencing or in the process of development, beginning to exist or to grow, coming into being. Yeah, always using those fancy English words.
I know, trying to confuse all of us. Right? Just say it how
Yeah,
it is, Rob. Bloody hell. Um,
yeah. I think not even ChatGPT could come up with such fancy words.
yeah, going nonsense. Who do you think you are? Um, anyway, moving on. All right. So again, going back to these research institutes and universities with their cutting edge science, their goal is to prove something can be done, or if their goal is to prove something can be done, do it, then write about it. That's essentially it. So very few have any concept of a commercial impact or even less of an idea on how to make that impact a reality. And Rob states here that this is not him being mean or critical of these institutions. It's just a fact of life. If you choose to be a researcher, you do because that is what you are or what you love. And the very idea of commercial exploitation or financial reward is quite far out of your mind. Again, this is really common, Scientists make the project, but businessmen make the brand. It's very clear with stuff like, for example, probably the biggest example right now, which is a huge talking point, Tesla with Elon Musk. Um, Tesla, Elon Musk is obviously the COO of Tesla. However, he did not make the car. He didn't design the car, didn't build the car. Other people made the car, but him as the face of the brand has taken Tesla to be one of the biggest exporters and biggest creators of electric vehicles in the world. I mean, a lot of people, when they start creating money or making money, they're like, okay, first thing car I'm going to get is I'm going to get a Tesla. That's something really common you see in, especially in the social media space. A lot of people will have Teslas. There was a guy who used to gift all his friends Teslas. So Tesla's very big deal, obviously, in the electric cars. So that's sort of an example of that. Would you agree, Sleazy? Did you know up to 45% of recruiter talent database are dormant? This means 45% of your revenue is left on the table.
Wow.
I know, right? But if you repurpose your talent database by redirecting them to nascent industry technology in high growth, you can share a portion of the high growth sweat equity too. How? The PIPE Associate Network. Bring new opportunities to talent within university-born R&D IP startups worldwide and earn a part of the future. Go to our description for the link tree or sign up on www.thepipecompany.co.uk and start your adventure of the future today.
Yeah, like fun fact, actually, Elon Musk is mostly a space engineer,
Yeah.
like by education, but he's also like the businessman of it.
Mm.
So I know that he's directly involved with science, like in SpaceX, because
Yes.
he's a space engineer. But the car, yeah, he probably doesn't even know the first thing about cars, honestly.
Yeah, I know because I know there was an ongoing joke where you get the people being like, "Oh, Elon Musk literally made Tesla," and then someone was like, "The only thing Elon Musk made on a actual Tesla car was the handles." Whereas
Hmm.
everything else was created by different sort of engineers, different scientists, and that's not discrediting Elon Musk and his work. That's just saying that going back to the example of researchers will do the research, engineers will do the engineering, but it will take someone who's commercially smart and business savvy to actually take that project and take it to commercial exploitation
Yeah, like
and
in
make a
fact, it
financial
is
reward.
very rare for someone to be able to be a businessman and an engineer.
Mm.
When someone does try to do this, it like vast majority of cases it does not work. It leads to the downfall of the company. Like
Mm,
this is one of the very few cases where the engineer is also the CEO or whatever
mm.
position
Or
is called.
an engineer. I think what I'm
Yeah,
trying to say is, yeah, an engineer.
yeah, because normally an engineer CEO tends to think of stuff too much from the engineering perspective and ends up tanking the company. That's usually how it works. But yeah,
Mm, exactly. Which is sort of talking about, how these researchers and scientists, they're not fictional characters. They can't, like, they're not being held back by wicked technology transfer offices or evil bureaucracy. They just don't do it. Um,
yeah, just to give a bit of context, because every episode we do, technology transfer office means this department in university that is in charge of commercializing the research.
yes, TTOs.
Yeah, I did not know it until I actually started making the podcast. Honestly, even though I interacted with the TTO before,
Yeah, yeah,
I
we
did not
actually
know that
learned a
this
lot.
was called.
Yes. We covered TTOs a couple podcasts ago. So if anyone else is looking to clear that up, we actually learned a lot on that podcast that we didn't know before. So that was quite interesting. But
And then
yes,
there is an italic text, which must be Rob thinking out loud.
it must be. Do you want to read that?
Yeah, sure. Actually, if I'm gonna use my
Use
best
your
posh English accent.
use your slanted voice. Yeah,
Uh, Actually, if venture capitalists wrote in on anything, it would be a dodgem. Is that how it's
dodgem.
pronounced?
Yeah, dodgem.
Is that like a car?
Yeah, it's fun fairs with the cars that will you can drive into each other.
Ah, yeah.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
one of those.
Like a bumpy car
Yeah,
type of stuff.
exactly. Yeah.
In anything, it would be a dodgem or a bumper car. Oh, that's the bumper car. As they follow each other without will, change direction in an instant, are tethered to a power source, their liquidity providers, and once you had a ride, they can pack up and travel wherever the next money is. That's totally how Rob would say it.
Yes, that's if knowing him for the many years that I have, you've nailed. I genuinely thought he'd entered the call. I was like,
That's
"There's
great.
no way Rob's here. How did he
Yeah.
get in?"
Thank you. I know
But what
my
I
posh
guess,
English accent is perfect.
honestly, it's you get this man a passport immediately. Um, but this is what we're kind of talking about. Venture capitalists, they all sort of drive around where the money is, and what they're saying that the power source, the liquid providers, and once the researchers and stuff have come on, they'll pack up and go to wherever the next project is. It's kind of like a use them and then lose them kind of situation, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it makes a bit more sense if you actually read it without
Yeah.
rushing. But yeah, a bumper car with a. Uh, anyway, he laughs at them. That's the gist of it.
Yes, he's basically not slating them a little bit.
Yeah, and following on, researchers and scientists are more keen to Quasimodo. For those who
Yeah.
don't know, it's from Belle of Notre Dame.
Hmm.
Uh, the famous song "Belle is the only word I know that suits her well. When she dances, all the stories she can tell." No, that's a English version. The French one is more popular, but yeah, I hope somebody in the audience recognizes the song.
Hopefully, yes.
If you do,
If you
say
do,
it in the
please
comments.
leave a comment. Yeah, leave a comment in the reviews. We should start asking for that reviews because we currently have no reviews. So please leave a 5-star review with a question or a comment, and we will be sure to read them out every episode.
Yes, please. We need
Please,
those.
please. Stop. Are you looking for a way to make passive income with your online business with a quality partnership that has low startup costs? Then the Pipe Affiliates and Referrals is for you. An affiliate is an individual or business that helps promote the Pipe services in exchange for a commission on the sales or leads that generate from their links. To do this, you'll need to join an affiliate program with Pipe, promote Pipe with unique tracking links on your websites, blogs, or social media, or any other channels. You will then go on to earn any commission made when a new user clicks your link and makes a purchase.
You heard that right. When a new user clicks your link or any client of yours and makes a purchase, you earn a commission from it. The referral process using Pipe offers a structured and efficient way for recruiting agencies to connect qualified candidates with potential employers. By leveraging Pipe's capabilities, agencies can enhance the quality of their referrals and improve the chances of candidates being considered for suitable associate positions. There are currently 4 roles: sales associate with a revenue share of 20%, the affiliate with 15%, and on a small scale there's refer with 1% and associate refer also with 1%.
Go to www.thepipecompany.co.uk/associates-affiliates to become an affiliate with the Pipe program today and start generating passive income with long-term potential.
And they live in grand surroundings, unseen and secretive. Yeah, so he lived like at the bell tower because the bell tower actually needs the inside of the tower to be like to have a like at least a staircase and for someone to take care because the bell tower is meant to be rung at like every hour.
Of course, yeah.
It requires the guy to actually be there like every hour, except night, of course,
Mm.
and to have enough like strength to actually ring the bell because it's very heavy. They live in grand surroundings, unseen and secretive. He says unseen and secretive because obviously Quasimodo, the hunchback, he was hiding away because of how he looked, but wished to be heard from time to time. I'm tired of trying to be some. I'm tired of. I'm tired of trying to be something I'm not, says Quasimodo, and this is something to bear in mind. You can't turn a good researcher or scientist into an entrepreneur, and you can't take their research papers at face value as the foundation of a solution to be funded. Yeah, so theory and practice and commercialization are very different steps to actually ensure this. The DAO is not the Esmeralda or the love of my life for the scientist or researcher. It is perhaps the final resting place for R&D/IP, so research and development/IP, intellectual property, that is otherwise mutant or deformed. That is quite a lot of stuff to take in, but yeah,
Quite a lot of information to process there. So I understand, especially if someone's listening a little bit confused. It's not That's fair, but we always will link the blog posts that we do or we cover on the podcasts in the description as well. So if anything we've said you maybe don't understand it, or you a little bit sort of confused by, if you read it sort of in the context of the blog post, maybe you might be able to understand it more. So again, that's going back all the way to, doing your due diligence and research on early stage projects, which is what this is and what we are.
yeah, and while we are meant to be reading the podcast to make it easier to understand,
Mm-hmm.
at the end of the day, we are pointing to the actual blog post so you can understand because you don't understand us. But yeah, anyway,
Exactly.
to go back to Cinderella for a moment, in the original Brother Grimm tale, the evil stepsisters cut off their toes to try and fit their foot into the glass slipper. Such was the obsession with wealth and privilege. Yeah, uh, that part was not involved in the children's cartoon. I'm
No,
pretty sure
yeah, no, it wasn't. Yeah,
because you know, uh, so for example, in terms of Notre Dame, the Hunchback of Notre Dame, um, they did not have a happy ending.
no.
Quasimodo. So okay, so Esmeralda was um, tricked by the priest and publicly executed in the informal way, let's say, by people, not by hanging.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, then the Hunchback took revenge on him by throwing him off the tower, and then he was too heartbroken that he uh, climbed into her grave. And the third guy also met a tragic end. He got married.
Yes, because
That was the little funny twist. But
the
yeah,
the
for
the
him, being married is the tragedy.
I was going
Like
to say, because the Brother Grimm stories, or the Brothers Grimm, were actually German. So Disney sort of Americanized it and made it a lot more happy, because they have the very can-do and positive attitude over there, I believe. Always getting
yeah,
told that they can do what they want, and life is will have a happy ending. And the reality of many other countries is no, this is a lie. So it's the cultural difference between American humor and British humor. American humor, if you watch American sitcoms, a lot of them have a happy ending, being like, oh, see, it all works out in the end. Whereas the UK, it's just depressing. And you're just like, never mind.
yeah, with that weather of yours that you have there, it's always depressing.
It's always depressed. There's nothing to be happy about here.
Yeah. and and similarly in the Cinderella, uh, they did not in the children's cartoon have the part about cutting off the toes. Although I kind of wonder why they would even attempt that. Well, I guess they were stupid or something because like it's a glass slipper. You're
Mhm.
gonna see all it being filled up with blood
Exactly.
because
Yeah.
they cut off their toes.
God.
Such was the obsession with wealth and privilege. This sounds a bit more like Web3 to me. Yeah, so it's always a good Web3 is a wonderful way to make money, but also there's a lot more to There should be a lot more to DeSci than just this. And many of these DeSci DAOs are doing a similar thing. Instead of mutating themselves, they mutate research, trying to make a silk purse from a, how's it pronounced, sow's ear or sow's ear.
A silk purse from a sow's ear. I believe a sow's some sort of farm animal.
Well,
Um,
sow's ear, it's like an expression that I looked up that means something something of poor quality or something,
oh, okay.
and selling it to you as the emperor's new clothes. That's also emperor's new clothes, like an expression, but I'm not sure what it exactly means.
Yeah, it's like taking something. Oh, the Emperor's New Clothes, because that's a story about how a. So they asked this tailor to make the Emperor's New Clothes, and he made nothing. And basically, he literally handed him nothing and said, "These are the best clothes you will ever wear.
Hmm.
They're brilliant. They're people will be bedazzled when they see them." And
Well,
the
that's
emperor
true.
was like, "Absolutely, okay, I'll wear them." So he just walked around naked, and then everyone, and he was like, "Look at my new clothes, aren't they glorious?" But he's got nothing on.
Well, people were bedazzled, I guess, so
Well, I'd
it
assume
achieved its
so.
purpose.
Yeah.
So, how do we differentiate the fairy stories, uh, fairy tale stories, the Disney from the practical, pragmatic, and truly valuable? There are ways. As I'm cackling evilly in the back alley.
that's that's all right. That's a bit. Oh, I'm just in a back alley laughing. It's like, okay, Sleazy, sorry.
Yeah. Okay. You can do the back alley section.
All right, I'll do the back door section. No worry. So
But first, did you know that even top companies like Coinbase struggle with talent retention, averaging just about zero point 0.8 years, so under 1 year? Web3 faces a big problem with unqualified applicants, some scammers, overall CV spammers, leading to short term hires. Applications like Passion, they are misaligned with the project ethos. This disconnect reduces long term commitment to missions and goals. Well, Arbito fixes this. Arbito is a limited membership Web3 jobs platform that combines AI tools, vetting, and job management tools, as well as third party ad boosts. We are maximizing the number of eyeballs on your job post. Join today by going to our link tree in the description and look for arbito.io.
welcome to the back alley section of the podcast. Today we're going to be talking about obviously very early stage research, which Rob has disclosed here, has very well documented risks, some of which are sort of relatively easy to test, even for the layperson. So, for example, it's relatively easy for anyone to carry out prior art searches to discover if the sow's here.
For the
Or
layperson, what's that? It's like a blue collar worker or something?
I believe so. Yeah, it reminds me of something like that. Yeah, laypersons. I've searched up a person without profession or specialized knowledge in a particular subject, which makes more sense than a non-ordained member of the church. Is the other
Okay, it's a
definition?
fancy English word.
It is
Just
another
to
fancy English word. Rob is doing a Rob. Um, So prior art searches discover if the sow's ear or the cheap cut you are being sold is in fact someone else's silk purse, or to discover if there is a freedom to operate in particular jurisdiction. These are two relatively simple tasks you can undertake to check the basics and which will ensure your golden carriage does not turn into a pumpkin at midnight.
so you don't invest in another hawk
Yeah,
coin.
yeah. So you don't have a. What was it actually called? I'm going to Google this now
Yeah,
because
it
I
was
can't
called
remember.
hawk,
Was
like
it called the Hawk coin?
$ hawk. Yeah.
Hawk to girl faces hashtag. Yeah, the crypto coin collapses hours after, not even days, hours. Even the BBC have reported on it. God, was it actually called Hawk coin? That's insane. The more I look at it, the more I'm like, how on earth did people?
It's one of those
Oh
stories
my
we're gonna
god!
tell the children. Like, if Rob's generation has Disney, well, I guess ours too, but a little bit to a lesser extent. The next
Yeah,
generation, we're gonna talk about the Hawk Tour token.
exactly. The Hawks. I've just found a picture. Wait, let me send you this. I found a picture of the graph.
The up and down. It's like
Yeah,
it looks like a spire. It just
exactly.
went up and then went down.
That's such a violent drop. That's insane. Oh, yeah. We digress, of course. So stupid. How do you fall for that? Where was I? Oh, right, of course, yes. So the relatively simple tasks, looking at the documented risks, or trying to discover if there's a freedom to operate in a particular jurisdiction. Again, these are two relatively simple tasks you can undertake to check the basics and which will ensure your golden carriage does not turn into a pumpkin at midnight.
Is that
Without
also another expression, pumpkin at midnight, or is that just Halloween?
That's a Cinderella thing. So pumpkin. So in the
Ah, yeah, okay.
story, she made a carriage
Ah, yeah, I remember
out
that
of a
part. Yeah.
pumpkin. Yeah. Without clarity in these two areas, if you get confused by any, I was a big. I had an ex girlfriend who was really really into Disney, which is why it never worked. But
Understandable.
I know it all. I know it all, mate. So, without clarity in these two areas, there are easy to establish. The underlying project is unsafe, and until you can get clarity on these simple metrics, you should avoid investing anything. So, do not. The next time a social media person that comes up from nothing, right? They've got no talent, no skills. They say a funny thing, and next thing you know, they got a million followers. The next time they try and push a coin onto you, say no, because it doesn't work.
Yeah, that's gonna be the
I
moral
think
of the story of
I
our children's
it's
thing.
yeah. That's on me. If there are any children listening, don't do it. Do not trust influencers on the internet because they lie to you all the time. Sorry. All right, we're here. I love how the main moral of this podcast is something that's not even mentioned in the blog post. It's just something we brought up.
I mean, it goes to research and what's it called, the due diligence
Yeah,
part.
it's all about due diligence. Yeah, and that's currently as of right now, that's the biggest example that I can think of. Um. Anyway, so without clarity in these two areas that are easy to establish, the underlying project is unsafe, and until you can get clarity on these simple metrics, you should avoid investing anything. But that's the easy stuff you could do to sort of save yourself from losses. But what about the real edge? Where does that come from? How do you really find the goose that lays the golden egg? That's Jack and the Beanstalk. Or known when to swap your prize cow for a few beans. So that's Jack. So the beans. Do you need explaining on this one? Have you got it? Jack and the Beanstalk.
No,
No?
is that a Disney thing as well, or
It's kind of. They never made a film out of it, but this is a popular English fairy tale. So there's this kid called Jack, um, and he was poor. He was broke. He didn't invest. Oh no, he invested in Hawk Coin, lost all his money. He had
okay?
no money, but they had a prize cow, just the one. So he went to a market, and this guy said, "I'll trade you this cow for these beans, but these beans are magic." And Jack, being Jack, was like, "Okay, I'll take the magic beans.
But this means a what?
They're magic. They've got powers." And so Jack was like, "All right, cool. I'll take the beans." Goes home. His mum's fuming. She's like, "Why have you traded it for a couple beans?" And he's like, "Let's grow them, see what happens." Grows them. A massive, massive beanstalk that reaches into the clouds forms overnight. So he climbs up and he meets a giant who has a goose that lays golden eggs, and he steals the goose, and he is then forever rich because he invested wisely in his magic beans. So the
Huh.
question that we're covering here is, how will you know if these DeSci projects are your magic beans?
But the golden goose isn't another story. It's part of the story.
So yeah, so the goose that lays golden eggs is the same story.
Oh, all right. I see. I
Yeah,
didn't know that.
I know. It's there's something about a lot of British sort of folklore tales are all about getting rich. A lot,
Understandable.
a lot of them.
But before that, have you heard of a certain logo designer that managed to turn $2,000 into $200,000.
I have not. Please tell me more.
Oh, well, his name is Dustin Moskowitz, a simple designer whose genius foresight in an early university startup, Facebook, changed his life. Yes, he designed the Facebook logo. And you can do this too by contributing to nascent technology startups from universities of today through PIPE Associate Network. Find out how you can get started today by going into the description, our link tree, and look for www.arbato.io/pan.
So what
And
you need to discover your magic beans will be validation, qualification, and verification. And this is where we come in. And it's what Pipe developed over many years. So our QED process is the breadcrumb trail guiding a project through the deep dark forest of commercialization. That's Hansel and Gretel. From technology readiness levels, solution readiness for market, proposition readiness for investment, and business operational readiness metrics. This methodology.
yeah,
Sorry,
we're operating with mythology.
yeah, this
Everything here is a myth.
mythology, this this myth.
Yeah.
No, this methodology is our USP. It defines the validity and value of an idea, and it puts us in the right path, avoiding gingerbread houses, and focuses on the how and less on the why a project should and could be funded. Also, just as a side comment, if you ever find a gingerbread house in the woods in England, don't go near it. Just don't
Why
trust it
not?
because there's a witch inside.
Ah,
Famously, there's a witch inside who will try and eat you. If
yeah,
it's the same. Yeah, do not
but
try.
like in the more Russian, I guess, folklore, it's
Hmm.
um it's Baba Yaga with the hold on, what was it? It's a house with no windows, no
Hmm.
doors, on chicken legs. Yeah,
Is that where that's from? I saw a picture of that. I didn't know it was Russian.
yeah, it's a famous, the most famous Russian story.
What the
if
Baba
you
Yaga, the boogie?
maybe
I
if
know
you've
that from
played
John
like
Wick.
if you've played something like what's it called there was one mobile game that involved like different types of gods, Norse mythology, Greek mythology. There was Baba Yaga there as well.
Not Raid Shadow Legends.
No,
I was going to say that'd be mad.
Smite, that's the one.
Smite. Oh yeah, I've played that. That's a huge game. That's
there's
really big in esports now.
there's Baba Yaga there,
Yeah,
which has that house with no doors, no windows on chicken legs. But apparently in British, it's a gingerbread house.
yeah, gingerbread house. So that's the whole thing is a gingerbread house, which it looks really great. You can eat it and all that, but on the inside, there's a witch that will throw you in an oven and try and eat you.
Yeah, following the meme coins type of lead, you're playing this game where you try to eat the house a bit, but not far enough that the witch would capture you.
Hmm.
That's the task here.
I'm
If you're
looking
into
at
meme
this.
coins.
Wow, this is sick. Baba Yaga.
Yeah, anytime a game tries to commercialize one of those folklore stories, they become big. That's one of the greatest things, actually. That's why it's very important to actually have people who can commercialize your product, not just the product itself.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like we at Pipe GDAO, of course.
Like us, yes. It's all a circle. It all comes back to us.
Of course it does. We're
Mm.
not totally making it up. Of course not. And so, if you want fairy stories that end up as a horror show, then navigate over to DeSci DAOs. Currently selling you, yeah. So Disney makes the good ending, but the happy ending, but the originals are usually end up pretty grim.
Very gruesome, exactly. Disney will show you a story and be like, "Look how good this is. This is such a nice story." But when you look at the original, where they got the inspiration from, you'll be like, oh my god, how did people tell their children this?"
Yeah, because it's meant to be a cautionary tale, not a feel good tale.
Yeah,
Yeah, but if you want your investment in DeSci to be supercalifragilisticexpialidocious,
that was You started off very well. I thought you were going to get it. I That was very close. So it's
Which
super.
part did I not get right?
When you got to fragile, so it's fragilistic expialidocious. So supercalifragilisticexpialidocious is that
Ah,
word? Yeah.
okay. I didn't know it was an actual word. I thought that he just
Oh
put
yeah. No,
some letters together.
no
No, but like it does consist of three different words.
yes, it's not a word. It's from a another British story called Mary Poppins, where she was like, if something's like really good, if it's really good, then it's supercalifragilisticexpialidocious.
Ah, right.
Yeah.
I see. I never even watched Mary Poppins, honestly. Like, where I lived, there was no Mary Poppins
No.
translation, so yeah. Then you should really come and talk to us at Pipe. Now, if you are sitting comfortably, let me begin.
I am.
Once upon a time, in our PGF Launchpad and GDAO, not too far away, like in Star Wars, but not too far away, a mighty Web2 platform spent many years developing processes and methodologies for testing, proving, and validating every early stage research and IP. They worked tirelessly for many years to create a perfect world where researchers and scientists could bring their ideas and have them validated, removing all the issues and risks that stopped them from becoming, quote, the next big thing. However, the Web2 platform wanted to find a like minded community who could support these projects, get involved, and invest in them. If you want to help with the next chapter of the story, and it's no fairy tale, it is going on right now, then come and get involved, whether you want to bring us projects, join communities, or invest in our projects. You can help us truly deliver the real world value of hashtag DeSci and create all our happy ever afters. All capitalized happy ever afters. Thank you for listening to our story of PIPE GDAO episode 11.
A lot of fairy tales, a lot of good talks, and some lessons along the way, I hope.
And I'm sure we'll create a lot of funny little cuts and stories and TikToks from this.
Oh yeah, the clips are going to be great for this one. Can't wait. We've clip farmed here.
Yeah.
Um, but no, I feel like yeah, we did good here. If you want to read the blog yourself, the link will be in description. If you want to join our Discord and our Telegram, where there's somebody always active, then again, please go to our link tree, follow us on socials to keep updated with everything, and probably the biggest thing, please like, follow, whatever platform you're using. Please support the podcast any way you can. Leave a 5-star rating, with any questions, any add-ons, any funny comments you may have, and we will be sure to shout out our favorite ones. Or if you've got any questions, we'll answer them on the next podcast. So yeah, please.
Yeah. And we'll see you next time.